You're going to still, you hear rumors all the time that you're going to get out, or you're not going to make any more motion pictures, and you're going to make pictures, aren't you?
Well, I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock for Carson City.
Is this a picture
to make a picture, yeah.
John Wayne was Hollywood royalty, a symbol of American toughness with a career that spanned decades. Yet, when his estate was finally opened more than 30 years after his death, what surfaced stunned fans and insiders alike. From priceless movie memorabilia fetching record-breaking auction prices to an estate that revealed unexpected family drama, the secrets held within his possessions challenged everything people thought they knew about the Duke's legacy. What was buried beneath the surface of Wayne's fame isn't just about riches or relics. It's about loyalty, loss, and hidden conflicts that shaped his final years. Estate secrets uncovered. For more than 3 decades after John Wayne's death in 1979, his Newport Beach mansion sat sealed, almost frozen in time. Each photograph, letter, and personal item, from the mundane to the priceless, remained locked away, untouched by fans or family alike. It wasn't until 2011 that the doors finally opened, revealing an astonishing trove that no one expected. The reveal sent shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond, not only because of what was found, but also because of what it suggested about the man behind the legend. What awaited inside was far more than dusty memorabilia. It was a deeply personal collection of objects that told untold stories. Movie props that had touched screens came alongside intimate belongings like handwritten letters and family photos. Yet, beyond the objects, the state of the estate itself hinted at a complicated aftermath, an estate that sparked disputes and revealed concealed fractures within the Duke's family. Such surprises added a new dimension to the legacy of a man who seemed so straightforward on screen. Collectors and fans alike were stunned by the sheer scale and the quality of what had been stored away. Some items broke auction records, with costumes and awards fetching staggering sums. Yet, the true worth wasn't just in money. It was the insight into a private life that had remained largely inaccessible. From meticulously preserved film scripts to a surprising variety of personal effects, the estate offered a window into Wayne's working methods, tastes, and personality. Each piece seemed to echo different aspects of his long and complex public journey. Still, not all the revelations were about possessions and price tags. When the details of Wayne's will became public, they ignited controversy and speculation. The document exposed unexpected decisions about inheritance, especially concerning his estranged third wife. These revelations suggested a personal story marked by loyalty, distance, and unresolved disputes. The family tensions hinted at beneath the surface made it clear that the estate was as much a battleground as it was a treasure trove. The sealed mansion and the sealed will created a mystique that captured public imagination for decades. Why did such a prominent figure's house remain untouched for so long? What explains the chasm between the public image of the Duke and the private realities discovered years later? These questions set the stage for a deeper exploration into the legacy of one of Hollywood's most iconic figures. Yet, the full story only began to emerge once those doors unlocked the past. Even longtime fans were surprised at how much remained unseen and unheard. John Wayne had been a towering presence on screen, but few understood the extent to which parts of his life were shrouded in secrecy. Hidden away in that Newport Beach mansion were pieces of a puzzle that challenged the simple narrative many believed. The estate's opening was not just an event, it was the beginning of a revelation that combined fame, fortune, and family conflict. His rise to fame ultimately shaped not just a career, but a deeply personal saga waiting to be uncovered. John Wayne's Hollywood rise. John Wayne wasn't born with the name we all know. He came into the world as Marion Robert Morrison in Winterset, Iowa, in 1907. From the start, his life included moments of remarkable resilience. At just 3 years old, he nearly drowned in an icy creek until a stranger saved him. His survival was an early sign of the toughness that would become his hallmark. The family's move to Glendale, California, in 1914 came amid financial struggles, but it placed Marion in the heart of opportunity. It was there the nickname Duke took hold, inspired by his constant companion, an Airedale terrier named Duke. Firefighters would call them Big Duke and Little Duke, and the name Duke stuck firmly to the young actor-to-be. This nickname would become as famous as the man himself. Wayne initially pursued football with the same drive, earning a scholarship to the University of Southern California in 1925 to study pre-law. His football ambitions ended abruptly after a shoulder injury, an event that devastated him but ultimately nudged his path toward Hollywood. Instead of giving up on his dreams, Wayne took a job as a prop man, earning $35 a week, a modest start that nonetheless opened a door that would lead him to stardom. His first screen roles were unacknowledged because he appeared in minor parts as an extra and a football player. His relationship with director John Ford became essential for his career development. Ford insisted that Marion should adopt a stronger name, which resulted in the creation of John Wayne. The name would develop into a representation of American cinema and toughness, but Wayne needed to overcome multiple obstacles before achieving stardom. Wayne worked continuously throughout the 1930s by acting in more than 80 inexpensive Western movies. The majority of films reached completion within a few days, while the salary remained insufficient to cover basic living expenses. In 1938, Wayne reached the point of wanting to stop acting because he felt discouraged. His perseverance led him to obtain his first major success through the film Stagecoach, which he released the following year. Stagecoach served as the critical transition point in his career. The studio preferred a more established actor, but John Ford insisted on Wayne, a choice that made all the difference. Wayne's performance of Ringo Kid brought him instant success as a recognition from people. Although he received a lower salary than other movie stars, his role in the film established him as the top Western hero in Hollywood. John Wayne became identified with a specific masculine concept which embodied ruggedness and strength. John Wayne and John Ford established a collaborative relationship which lasted for 30 years, during which they made 14 movies that transformed Hollywood, including the film The Searchers. Their working relationship was famously tough, with Ford pushing Wayne to his limits on set. This demanding relationship developed Wayne's signature characters, which continue to attract audiences today. But there was more to the Duke than his iconic roles, and the layers beneath this public image reveal a life full of personal challenges and relationships that shaped him deeply. The Duke's personal life. Behind the rugged on-screen persona, John Wayne's personal life was marked by complexity and turbulence. Over the course of nearly 50 years, he entered into 3 marriages, each with its own struggles and stories. His first marriage to Josephine Sayans began in 1933 as his career started to rise. Together, they had 4 children, but Wayne's intensifying fame meant he was often absent from home, complicating their relationship. The cracks in their marriage widened further with Wayne's secret affair with actress Marlene Dietrich, which lasted nearly a decade, starting in 1938. This romance was an open secret in Hollywood, marked by passion and intensity. Dietrich wielded her influence to help Wayne land leading roles, showing the depth of their connection. Despite Wayne's ongoing marriage to Josephine, the affair inevitably contributed to the couple's eventual divorce in 1945. Wayne's second marriage to Esperanza Bauer began in 1946, but quickly grew volatile. Esperanza, a former actress from Mexico, struggled with jealousy, particularly suspecting Wayne's closeness with co-star Gail Russell during the filming of Angel and the Bad Man. One night, this jealousy escalated dangerously when Esperanza, heavily intoxicated, pulled a gun on Wayne. Fortunately, no one was harmed, but the incident foreshadowed the marriage's eventual collapse in 1954. His third marriage to Pilar Palette started the same year, but was far from straightforward. Although they remained legally married until Wayne's death in 1979, the couple separated in 1973. Afterward, Wayne lived with his secretary, Pat Stacy, a woman 34 years his junior, who became both partner and caretaker during his declining health. Even though Pilar and Wayne never divorced, the complexities of these relationships added layers to his private life rarely seen by the public. Not all of Wayne's close relationships were romantic. His friendship with actress Maureen O'Hara stood out as a deep and lasting bond. They starred in 5 films together, and their on-screen chemistry sparked rumors, though those close to them insist it was a strong friendship rather than a full romance. O'Hara supported Wayne through his final years and even helped him receive a congressional medal to honor his legacy. Wayne's personal letters and belongings later revealed a softer, more vulnerable side, particularly in his relationship with Pat Stacy. After his death, Pat published a memoir that showed a gentler Duke, one who could be tender and deeply connected despite his tough public image. She spent the rest of her life preserving his memory, highlighting a private world hidden beneath the Hollywood facade. Wayne's marriage history and affairs reveal a man who struggled to balance the demands of fame with his personal desires and responsibilities. These relationships, riddled with drama and devotion, shaped his legacy as much as his films did. The emotional complexity behind the star helped explain the sharp divisions that emerged later around his estate and will. Wayne's rise and private struggles reveal how fame never fully erased the complexities hidden beneath the surface. Battles with cancer. John Wayne's toughness was tested not only on the silver screen, but in his battle with cancer. In 1964, at the age of 57, doctors shocked Wayne with a lung cancer diagnosis. His health challenges were unsurprising, given his heavy smoking habit, up to 6 packs of cigarettes a day for years. The cancer required a risky surgery to remove a lung and 2 ribs, a procedure with only about a 50% chance of survival. Against the odds, Wayne pulled through and was declared cancer-free for the next 5 years. Rather than conceal his illness, Wayne chose to be open about it, despite warnings that publicity might damage his career. With a sense of responsibility, he aimed to encourage early detection and support for cancer research. He even gave cancer the nickname the Big C to make the disease seem less intimidating. His public advocacy included a television commercial for the American Cancer Society in 1965, where he urged people to take the disease seriously and support research efforts. The fight wasn't over, however. In 1979, just months before his death, Wayne was diagnosed with stomach cancer. He pursued experimental treatments, including a vaccine, but ultimately, the illness proved too aggressive. Even as his health declined rapidly, Wayne remained determined to raise awareness. From his hospital bed, he recorded messages pleading for more funding for cancer research, showing a courageous commitment to the cause until the very end. Wayne's determination to work while sick was evident in his final film, The Shootist, released in 1976. Playing an aging gunfighter dying of cancer, Wayne's performance eerily mirrored his own condition. Despite needing oxygen between takes and suffering from poor health, he insisted on doing his own stunts, enduring physically demanding scenes without complaint. His choice to rewrite the ending to preserve his strong image, refusing to have his character shot in the back, revealed the fierce pride with which he faced mortality. The film succeeded at the box office because it connected with audiences and it served as an emotional departure from Hollywood's enduring mainstay. Wayne displayed legendary toughness in his performances, and throughout his daily life, his actual physical weakness stayed hidden from view. The way he lived his final years showed people how to face their conditions. His illness did not define him during his final years, which led to his status as an American legend because people honored him for his strength and his movie performances. His death on June 11, 1979, marked the end of an era. He passed away at UCLA Medical Center after a grueling battle with stomach cancer, aged 72. People from all over the world sent tributes to him. The then-President Jimmy Carter described him as someone who lived beyond normal human limits while being a genuine hero of the United States. People who loved him came together to grieve outside both the hospital and his residence. They created a memorial with candles and personal notes. Wayne's legacy appeared to be safe, yet people who publicly mourned him actually held more profound doubts concerning his last days and the impact of his health issues on those who cared about him. At that time, John Wayne publicly shared his cancer diagnosis, which made him stand out from other people. Celebrities typically concealed their health problems, yet Wayne openly shared his medical condition, which helped people understand his situation better, which led to public discussions about his health. The disease became better understood across the United States because he worked to raise funds and build awareness about the disease. The Cancer Foundation, established in his honor, continued his work through research funding and development of early detection methods, which used research from his work. Transitioning from his personal health battles, Wayne's lifestyle and real estate investments revealed yet another side of the man behind the legend, showing both a practical sensibility and a love for varied landscapes, real estate, and lifestyle. John Wayne's connection to real estate was much more than a mere investment. It reflected his evolving lifestyle and personal preferences. In 1965, he purchased a sprawling mansion in Newport Beach, California. Situated with a serene view facing Balboa Island, the house appeared modest from the outside but was grand and luxurious inside, matching Wayne's own blend of simplicity and stature. He lived there until his death in 1979, and the property sold for $5,500,000 the following year, an impressive sum at the time. Before relocating to the coast, Wayne owned a 5-acre ranch in Encino, California. This property served as a retreat, but as he grew older, Wayne favored a quieter life by the water. His ownership of real estate wasn't limited to California. He held properties in Arizona and Washington as well. These diverse holdings showed his appreciation for different climates and landscapes, perhaps hinting at a deeper connection to the American frontier ideal he portrayed on screen. Real estate was a practical concern for Wayne, but also a source of personal pride. He joked once that moving to Newport Beach earlier had been a smart move because, by then, he likely wouldn't be able to afford it. This remark revealed a man mindful of balancing extravagance with prudence. His properties were investments, but they were also homes where he could escape the intensity of Hollywood's spotlight. Alongside his homes, Wayne owned the yacht Wild Goose, a vessel with a history as fascinating as his own. Originally a World War II minesweeper, the yacht was a beloved part of his life. Wayne sold Wild Goose for $750,000 shortly before he died. This sale sparked questions about his intentions and what desires or needs might have motivated relinquishing such a personal possession at the end of his life. Wayne's choices in real estate and lifestyle embodied his complex identity, a blend of ruggedness and refinement, showmanship and family man. His penchant for space and privacy also aligned with the way he managed his personal affairs. often keeping business and family lives carefully separated. This separation, however, could only hold for so long before surfacing in more public and contentious ways. The Newport Beach home, with its stunning waterfront views, served not only as a sanctuary, but also as the central stage for the posthumous drama surrounding his estate. Locked and sealed after his passing, the mansion became a symbol of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Every room, every forgotten drawer, was a repository of the life Wayne had lived away from the cameras. Yet, as history would unfold, these holdings proved to be far more than quiet havens. They became the battleground for the conflicts hidden beneath the Duke's public image. The controversial will. When John Wayne passed away in 1979, his estate was valued at approximately $6,850,000, around $25 million in today's currency. For a man of his legendary status and blockbuster successes, this sum seemed surprisingly modest. Many expected a far larger fortune from one of Hollywood's highest-paid stars. Yet, the real shockwaves came not from the size of the estate, but from how it was divided. Most notably, Wayne left nothing to his third wife, Pilar Palette, despite being married to her for over 20 years. The couple had separated 6 years before his death, but never officially divorced. Instead, the bulk of the estate was bequeathed to his 7 children from the first 2 marriages. This exclusion sparked speculation and whispers about the nature of their relationship and the decisions behind his will. Family insiders and fans alike were stunned by the apparent omission. The will's revelations ignited tension within the Wayne family that would last for decades. Disagreements over the distribution of assets, personal memorabilia, and rights spurred lawsuits and bitter disputes. In 2010, for example, John Wayne's daughter Isa filed a suit against her brother Ethan and John Wayne Enterprises over shares and control issues. What seemed like private family matters spilled publicly, pulling the estate's management into courtroom battles that added strain to the Duke's legacy. Beyond just money, the personal items given in the will became sources of contention. Memorabilia that held immense sentimental and historic value were fiercely contested among family members. Objects that once symbolized a shared heritage turned into points of division, illustrating how the handling of Wayne's estate cracked otherwise strong family bonds. These disputes revealed the fragile nature of legacy and how even revered figures' estates can become contested grounds. The decision to leave the third wife out also raised broader questions about loyalty and recognition. The situation occurred because of their separation between unresolved personal conflicts and their decision to exclude him from the event. The reasoning behind the event caused effects which extended beyond its legal implications. The public learned about Wayne's complex personal life through this, which proved he was not just a regular Hollywood hero, but a person who experienced real difficulties in his life. The estate disputes demonstrated to everyone that famous people who possess wealth do not ensure peaceful relationships between family members after their death. The Duke established a public image, which he managed through his career, yet his actual life resulted in relationship breakdowns and legal battles which followed his death. For decades, fans and observers were left grappling with the contrast between the man on screen and the man at home. The estate of his property entered a new phase because its contents, which used to be hidden, now face public scrutiny through unpredictable upcoming revelations. Wayne's will demonstrates how inheritors use their bequests to show their life opinions about others through their will to maintain their relationships. The absence of Pilar's share suggested a complex farewell which stirred long-standing emotions and legal consequences. This controversy overshadowed other aspects of his legacy for many people who always wanted to talk about his estate. The family's narrative contains dramatic elements which reveal both their loving relationships and their internal schisms. Many of Wayne's children and descendants have worked to preserve his memory, sometimes straining against each other to keep his legacy alive in competing ways. The will's revelation brought private conflicts into the light, but also demonstrated the enduring passion involved in remembering the Duke. In the midst of these familial and financial storms, something remarkable happened years later, offering a different kind of legacy: the unveiling of Wayne's personal collection in a record-breaking auction. Memorabilia auction phenomenon. In October of 2011, over 30 years after John Wayne's death, more than 700 items from his life and career were put up for auction in Los Angeles. This event was not just a sale. It was like opening a time capsule that had been sealed alongside the Newport Beach mansion all those years before. Fans, collectors, and Hollywood historians flocked to the event, eager to claim a tangible piece of the Duke's legacy. The auction included a vast array of objects: costumes, movie props, awards, furniture, letters, and photographs that showcased the full spectrum of Wayne's life. Some items were rare and deeply personal, like his neatly kept scripts, which revealed how meticulously he approached his work. For example, one script for The Horse Soldiers bore folded pages marking completed scenes, while another for Wednesday Morning was kept pristine, reflecting his organized side. Personal belongings also held a special place in the auction. Clothing worn during iconic films, such as pants from The Alamo or the cowboy hat from Big Jake and The Cowboys, attracted fierce bidding. The cowboy hat alone sold for $119,500. Even seemingly mundane items, like his last driver's license, sold for nearly $90,000, demonstrating the deep connection fans felt toward every aspect of his life. Some pieces smashed previous records, underscoring Wayne's popularity and cultural significance decades after his passing. His green beret from the 1968 film The Green Berets fetched $179,200, the highest price ever paid for a costume hat. His Golden Globe for True Grit, the film that earned him his only Oscar, was another standout at $143,400. These items symbolized not just memorabilia, but milestones in his career. The auction also revealed unexpected facets of Wayne's personality. A gold-plated Winchester rifle he gifted to a friend sold for over $113,000, illustrating his generosity and close friendships. His collection of books, with topics ranging from military strategy to history, hinted at his sharp mind and deep interests beyond acting. Even a modest collection of seashells showed a softer, more contemplative side rarely seen by the public. One of the most poignant items was a portrait painted by artist John Decker. This painting resided in Wayne's home and sold for $71,700, reflecting the personal significance it held. Alongside photographs and letters, these artifacts offered a closer look at the private man behind the public legend, revealing a father, friend, and devoted family man, more layered than his rugged screen image might suggest. In the end, the 2011 auction illuminated John Wayne not just as a movie star, but as a man whose impact reached far beyond the screen. Legacy and controversy. John Wayne's legacy is a complex blend of admiration, controversy, and ongoing debate that continues decades after his death. While he remains a towering figure in Hollywood history, the public conversations surrounding his personal beliefs and statements have sparked significant re-examinations of the man behind the myth. His 1971 interview with Playboy magazine ignited outrage due to several remarks that many found offensive, including his expressed belief in white supremacy and his views on Native Americans. These statements challenged the heroic image many had long associated with him. Wayne's comments about race reflected the social attitudes of his era, but were jarring against today's lens. He openly stated that whites were superior until Black Americans were educated to a point of responsibility. His views on Native American land and culture were dismissive, framing territorial conquest as a matter of survival. Furthermore, he criticized the film Midnight Cowboy with homophobic slurs, revealing a rigid worldview that many have since criticized as outdated and harmful. These remarks resurfaced online decades later, reviving debates about his character and legacy. The resurgence of these controversies in 2019 and beyond led to calls to reconsider how society honors Wayne. In Orange County, California, where the John Wayne Airport bears his name, activism grew, demanding a name change. The local Democratic Party argued that Wayne's statements conflicted with the region's evolving values of diversity and inclusion. This debate became a microcosm of a broader national reckoning with historical figures whose legacies include prejudiced views. Supporters of Wayne vehemently defended his legacy, emphasizing his contributions to film and his role as a cultural icon. His son Ethan publicly refuted claims of racism, arguing that critics misunderstand both the man and the context of his era. Fans highlighted the importance of separating the art from the artist, asserting that his movies represent an essential part of American cinema history, irrespective of his personal opinions. This defense fueled a contentious dialogue about forgiveness, context, and artistic merit. The controversy also reached academic institutions associated with Wayne. At the University of Southern California, which once exhibited a tribute to Wayne and his cinematic achievements, protests by students and alumni led to the removal of the exhibit. Critics pointed to Wayne's racist comments as creating an unwelcoming environment, particularly for students of color. The decision sparked debates over whether erasing such tributes was an act of necessary inclusivity or an erasure of cultural history. The legal battle between these two parties created a crucial issue that examined whether personal beliefs should be considered separate from professional achievements of individuals. People consider Wayne's movies, which include The Searchers and Rio Bravo, to be important cultural and artistic works which deserve recognition. Critics assert that the films maintain stereotypes about Native Americans while they present a historical version which disregards the violent acts and discrimination faced by underrepresented communities. The existing situation prevents people from recognizing the valuable aspects of the work, while they also need to recognize its problematic elements. Wayne's legacy demonstrates how people struggle to balance their respect for important historical figures with their acknowledgement of the figure's actual shortcomings and biases. The public discussion about his life and works shows how cultural standards affect the way societies decide to remember their heroes. The argument about his legacy functions as a practical example, which demonstrates how history and memory and social advancement interact with each other. John Wayne continues to shape both the film industry and American cultural identity even after his controversial actions. The public still recognizes him through his portrayal of the rugged cowboy, which has shaped the career paths of countless actors and filmmakers. The changing conversations about his life story will present his complete narrative, which includes all his achievements and contradictions and shortcomings. This new understanding of legacy requires us to evaluate our understanding of legacy while we decide which legacies to honor. John Wayne's estate revealed more than wealth. It exposed complicated family drama and a legacy full of contradictions. From his iconic Hollywood rise to personal struggles and public controversies, his story challenges us to look beyond the legend. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Duke's hidden truths, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from history and Hollywood.